Now, what advice would you give a screenwriter trying to break into the business today?
Well, I think to some degree what I said, I think you're really thinking about what you want as your own career, how you want your career to go. And then figuring out how that's going to actually take place. I mean, if you really are determined to be, a studio level screenwriter and you understand what that's all about, that's a different trajectory. I think that's more writing higher end scripts, not necessarily low budget. The contests, the ink tip, the blacklist, entering those kinds of things and getting things. If you're looking at more of sort of art house cinema, and I know there's a number of filmmakers out there that I bump into, and that's all they really want, and that's totally fine. So I think, boiling it back, what advice would I have? I think the biggest advice I would have is go out and just start doing stuff. I get so many emails from people. I submitted my script to 2 places and they didn't like it. It's like, 2 places, when you hit 2,000 places, then we can start to say, okay, maybe nobody wants this thing. But I just don't think people fully understand the amount of effort that this is going to take. You're not going to walk up to Yankee Stadium and say, hey man, when are the tryouts? It's like, can't you just get me, I know you're playing the Red Sox tonight, can't you just get me on the field for a couple pitches? It's like, no, that's not how it works. Do some due diligence of your own when you're strategizing your career. Look at some of these people. We were just talking about Meryl Streep, and it's like, you just said, well, I bet she hasn't done a movie that's less than 20 million. It's like, go look at those screenplays for the Meryl Streep movies that she's done over the last 10, 15 years, 20 years. And I would almost guarantee that the screenwriters of those scripts are not first-time writers. No. Just exactly what you said about things. Maybe there's a couple in there, and you hear these stories like the Clint Eastwood movie last year was a first-time writer.
The Mule?
I think it,
yeah, but the point is, the 15, 17.
It was a Spielberg movie. I think it was the Spielberg movie, the one about the newspaper. And I think
it was. Yeah, she was. She was a first time.
I think it actually had Meryl Streep in
it. But you have Eastwood and Spielberg producing it. Like it's not.
Yeah.
Does it happen?
It is.
Yes.
That's the bigger problem is that we hear these stories, so we think that that's sort of how it happens, and that's the exception, not the rule. And I think if you go and look at there's one of those. So Meryl Streep's, let's say, done 20 movies in the last 20 years. There's one of those. But if you go look at the other 19, my guess is those screenwriters had a long list of probably working in television, moving over to features, and it's like that's what you need to do. Look at the careers you want to have. Look at what those people have done, and then start at the beginning. You don't need to start with Transformers if you want to write action movies. You need to start with, whoever's lower than Jean-Claude Van Damme action movies. You'll get there eventually.
Steven Seagal.
Yes, exactly. Steven Seagal. I think he's been relegated to the Me Too movement. But some of these guys, some of these low budget. If you want to write high budget action movies, start with a low budget action movie.
And to review the post, I mean, yes, she might have been a first-time screenwriter, but Meryl didn't sign on because of the script alone. Mm-hmm. She signed up because there was a call of Steven Spielberg and Clint producing. Like, I mean, come on, that kind of team, of course, it's gonna. If she's like, oh, you had basically, she was like in the mafia, and then Spielberg's like, oh, she's with me, and it just walked in and like, oh, she's a good fella. Like it's Donnie Brasco all of a sudden. Sorry about all the mob references. It's still
I got you.